So I've mentioned that all Metatrons have shared memories, and that the ones that don't think they have access to all Metatron memories, those are the ones that are not properly merged with their souls for some reason. Um, if you want to merge with your soul, you have to meditate to be able to see through your soul more than your body. I think you'll still see through your body, but you'll see more of your soul, what your soul sees. Um, this is a requirement of a timekeeper and a matrix keeper. They have to have access to all of time because all their incarnations are all over time and in every realm. So they have to do that to maintain everything. Everything. This is why they are celibate most of the time. Also, because if one is damaged, they all get damaged from the realm programming. Not like the same amount of damage. They become vulnerable in their memory merge. And they exist in all realms also. So programming the realm programming, they are influenced by changes depending on which Metatron. So they can only have sex in heaven at the end of the timeline because they can be fixed from that vantage point. But they've made exceptions for this realm because they need gods to be born here. Brahma was not supposed to be having sex at all because he had an important job. And I think he got possessed. All of those who had sex in this realm, including me and my clones, will die, and we have died. I've had clones die regularly, and that's just because I didn't fix them, and I was supposed to. But luckily, we have this cool time technology that speeds up our process of repairing ourselves. But it requires our bodies and souls and awareness to be taken to heaven, which is a duty the Pala people usually fulfill. And to remind you, the Pala people are the kind people who live in our oceans and deep lakes. An adjacent Earth realms, oceans and deep lakes, and they drive the Tic Tac aircrafts that you see visiting naval bases. And they help us. And they are being impersonated by the Greys, who are enslaved by Outer Rift Garrett. They're slaves. The Greys are. Poly people are kind. They help the Heaven civilization. The Greys are servants of Garrett. And usually, when we go crazy from sex, we rewind our timeline. But there are times when we cannot, like when we procreate. The way we repair ourselves then, if you can't go to heaven also because your soul's job is incomplete here, the solution is to meditate the repair into existence. You meditate in towards the intention of repair, and then if you are so far gone that your meditation is not working, begrudgingly, Siddhartha Gautama will help you. He thinks it's annoying that the gods use him like a sex rehab, but he is the best at healing broken souls. Pretty much any famous Buddha can do this, but my group loves to go to Siddhartha for some reason. Wheel of Dharma and Metatron. Just to remind you, Siddhartha is a Metatron clone, directly cloned from Brahma. This is the Metatron symbol. Wheel of Dharma for Buddhism. Siddhartha he has a giant soul merge of his own and his own realm, which we know of as the Buddhism realm. He was the timeline that made it to heaven because he stayed celibate, which is how we all got to heaven the first time. The Venonova, who is male, is the one who stayed celibate, and for me, they were male just to avoid being raped, I think. But Siddhartha was the one who taught us all to be gods the first time, and he is the reason why we all made it to heaven the first time, and why all of our incarnations that made it to heaven are the reason that we can go to heaven now. So this Mara that Siddhartha combated was the merge with Garrett's soul clone that we all have. He was the one to realize Garrett could be fixed using meditation, which is how Mara was defeated. And I realized when I was writing this that if Mara was the incarnation that manifested in Siddhartha, that means he was born female. Which I assume the trans programming was to avoid being raped, and also maybe that's just what he wanted. He doesn't like sex that much. He's celibate by choice most of the time, and I've procreated with him for the timeline, and he does produce semen, which they told me is possible. Like I can transition into a male clone, a male soul, and produce semen the way the men are. But also I have Ra in my soul merge, so I can produce semen anyways, even if I don't transition, because I'm both. And when the Metatrons say they expect celibacy, most of them are trolling you. They meant that you are expected to rewind your timeline every time you have sex, which technically means you've been celibate. That technically keeps you a virgin soul clone. They have referred to every new clone that they've given me as a virgin, because they have yet to suffer, they have yet to have sex. But this is when they're creating new clones rather than recycling the ones that got fixed. Also, every time I have been pregnant, a soul goes into another body to gestate. So that, like, you only... In this realm, they only allow... The only sex that has ever happened is sex that produced a child. That's the only sex that has ever been that has ever happened according to the realm programming. Because otherwise you'd die if they didn't rewind the timelines. So they're just being overly accurate, so that you figure out what the fuck they're talking about. Like, 'cause you know it's a weird thing to say after you've had sex. All right. I think that's it for this video.